Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. There are so many controversial decisions in the sport of boxing today. It always seems like the judges are missing their mark when it comes to certain fights. And we're talking about one fight in particular here, and that's the Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev fight, where we saw Andre Ward win the fight by a very close decision. A lot of people felt like Sergey Kovalev won that fight and he was cheated out of a win. And with regard to a second fight, it was placed in the contract that there would be a rematch if Sergey Kovalev lost the fight to Andre Ward. Now, that rematch clause is definitely in the contract. And the upsetting thing here for me is the fact that Andre Ward seems like he doesn't want to fight Sergey Kovalev for a second time. Personally, I felt like Andre Ward won the first fight. So it's only natural for me to believe that if these two guys were to fight again, I feel like Andre Ward would definitely beat him a second time. Kind of like when Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana. The first fight was real close. And then in the second fight, he kind of blew Marcos Maidana out the water. That's what I would expect in a second fight between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev, which makes me wonder why Andre Ward isn't jumping at a chance to take on this rematch against Kovalev, in a way to prove himself and to his fans that he can beat Kovalev clean. It doesn't have to look shady on the part of the judges. Now, in the first fight, we saw Andre Ward get staggered by a jab. We saw him get knocked down in the second round. But, Andre Ward kind of controlled the second half of that fight. So, really, I watched it over and over again. I had Andre Ward winning the fight. It was a close fight, but I still had him winning the fight. There's so much more that Kovalev could have done to win that fight, if you ask me. In fact, when he got him hurt the first time in the second round, he should have tried to finish the fucking job. Let's just be honest. And, in the second job, he's saying, in the second fight, he's saying that he would knock Andre Ward out. Well, why didn't you knock him out in the first fight? You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't think that he stands much of a chance at beating Andre Ward a second time. I believe Andre Ward would be much more prepared for that fight. He knows what to expect now. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see if that fight materializes. But, Andre Ward's talking about he's going to retire and all this bullshit. He might be telling the truth because he's talking about going into commentating. He's made a lot of money in the sport of boxing, and he's really accomplished everything that he's wanted to accomplish. At one point he was talking about moving up to heavyweight, which I think is a big fucking mistake. But, he really beat the top dude at light heavyweight, let's be honest. And if he were to fight Kovalev for a second time and beat him a second time in a more clean fashion, really, what could you say? Aside from Adonis Stevenson, who else could he potentially fight? Badu Jack, James DeGale. These people are talking about moving up and shit. I don't know. So, personally, again, I think this fight needs to be both of these guys' next fight. Kovalev needs to fight Ward next. Ward needs to go ahead and man the fuck up and fight Kovalev. For a guy, and the fault's on both sides. We'll start off with Kovalev. He seemingly blames his trainer for the loss. Yet he's talking about how, he won the fight, but he wants to change up his fucking team. He wants to change his trainer and shit like that. I don't get it. If you won the fight, there's really no need to, switch up who's in your corner, right? And again, for Andre Ward, if you won the fight, then, if you won the fight and there was a rematch clause in the fight, take the rematch. Don't fucking threaten everybody that you're going to quit boxing. That's some pussy shit, if you ask me. But, hey, I'd like to see a fight between these guys again. Personally, I feel like this fight could be much bigger the second time around and would do much bigger numbers on pay-per-view. Especially with how the first fight ended. It was so controversial that, I mean, controversy sells, man. So they'd have no problem selling the second fight, man. But we'll see what the fuck Andre Ward bitch ass want to do. We'll see if he want to actually fucking take this fight. We'll see if Kovalev want to stop fucking crying on Twitter. Talk about he having bad dreams because he lost to fucking Andre Ward. Get over that shit. Both of you stupid motherfuckers need to get together and make this fucking fight happen. Hitman Boxing, I'm out.